But people like ourselves say, right, how in future can we make this more unified? Because we're always looking for ever closer union within a British unionist context. Unfortunately, some people who are quite influential in the media look at it and they say the problem is we're not sufficiently devolved yet. Now, you hear this everywhere from The Guardian to The Telegraph. There is a sort of commentator based in London. And, you know, don't get us wrong, we love commentators wherever they may be based, and many of them speak good sense and so on, but some of them don't really understand, as we've always said, how the British Union is held together. They don't understand the nature of the UK as a unitary state, that is, as one central parliament that devolves responsibility. They seem to think that we're already a separate federal country with sovereign different parliaments. Well, and so they advocate even more devolution. They advocate giving even more powers, as if that's somehow going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference. As we keep saying, you could give the moon to the SNP and they would pretend that they never received it, and they would complain that it wasn't enough, because that's the nature of who they are. That's the nature of their political agenda. They have to keep pushing. They don't care that powers are not being exercised here or there, or that we need a little bit more democracy here, or what they care about is just breaking up the United Kingdom. That's all they're caring about, is breaking up the United Kingdom. It's not about the democratic deficit. It's about how do we destroy the UK. And so they'll never be satisfied, regardless of the number of powers that you give them. They'll never be satisfied with that. They'll just keep going on until they break up the UK. And then if they ever did that, they would most certainly not be satisfied, because what would then happen? You'd have to have a separate English parliament. And if you think the Scottish nationalists are bad at the moment, complaining about the British Parliament, wait until you see them complaining about an independent English Parliament. Oh my goodness me, we'll be back to where we were, back in the old days of constant conflict. So, as we keep saying, there's no good end to the Scottish nationalist aim to break us into 4 different parts. There's no good end. And even if they succeeded, they would not be satisfied. It would only make matters worse. You know, some well enough meaning people come onto our page and say, well, you know, I live in England, just give the Scots what they want. That'll shut them up. No, it won't. Oh, no, it won't. Because you don't understand the nature of that particular type of Scots person who will simply complain forevermore. Somebody saying there, the UK government should start funding Scotland directly, absolutely, over the heads of Holyrood, because Holyrood will just take your money and it will pretend that it somehow created it, and it won't thank the British Treasury for that money. So any money coming up here has to be branded British, and it has to be spent over the heads of Holyrood, no question about that. So, no, getting back to the idea that Scots would stop complaining. Oh, no, 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 no. The sort of person who complains right now will complain forevermore. That's just the nature of the that's just the nature of the person. They're just complainers. They're just grievance mongers. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you give them the moon and the sun and the stars and all the galaxies. They'll say, we never got that, and it's not enough, and we want more. And do you know what? That will be the case if the world is to last for 1,000,000 years, because that's just the nature of the person. And sometimes that's what politics is about. You just got to look at the person and go, is this person ever going to be satisfied? No. So let's just not do what they want.